Most of us interact with batteries on a highly personal scale. They keep our phones awake, run our laptops, and increasingly, they get us to work in electric vehicles. But zoom out from the driveway, and utility companies are now deploying massive industrial-scale battery arrays designed to serve as a high-capacity buffer for the national grid. This chart shows the specific problem these systems solve. We have a steady, predictable curve of human energy demand, but the jagged, unpredictable line overlaid on top represents wind and solar generation. This creates what grid operators call intermittency. Solar panels only generate power when the sun shines, and turbines only spin when the wind blows, leaving gaps where our need for electricity exceeds the available supply. Storing surplus power when generation is high and deploying it back to the grid when generation drops off closes those gaps. Solving this intermittency makes large-scale storage a requirement for grid stability rather than an optional technological upgrade. For the last century, national energy security meant securing physical access to the geographic locations that extracted oil, gas, and coal. Now, the map is being redrawn. In a system run on renewables, energy security relies on the capacity to store electricity and meticulously manage its flow across a massive grid. Moving away from hydrocarbons does not erase a country's reliance on the outside world. It changes the nature of that reliance. Influence is moving toward the industrial systems that capture and move electricity. Global leverage increasingly belongs to the countries that control the complex industrial supply chains required to build these massive storage networks. The foundation of this new supply chain starts in the dirt. Advanced battery chemistries require millions of tons of critical minerals, specifically lithium, cobalt, nickel, and graphite. Look at this global map. The widely scattered glowing dots represent raw mining sites around the world. But watch where that raw material goes next. It all funnels into just a few tightly clustered processing hubs. Simple extraction isn't the bottleneck. The vulnerability is this severe concentration of chemical refining. Stacking directly on top of those refiners is the industrial layer. Manufacturing the final units requires billions in capital, specialized infrastructure, and reliable electricity. When a country successfully links domestic mining, refining, and manufacturing together, it triggers a positive feedback loop. Efficiency goes up, costs go down, and the entire ecosystem becomes resilient to outside shocks, leaving competitors struggling to catch up. Because these industrial steps are so rigidly stacked, a single disruption at a distant mine or a critical factory can instantly halt a nation's energy transition. Once the batteries are built, they hit the top layer of the ecosystem, physical integration into the national grid. Thousands of decentralized storage units must be perfectly coordinated by sophisticated software. While this decentralized approach reduces reliance on a few giant power plants, the sheer complexity of the software creates a sprawling new attack surface. The physical grid is now exposed to highly coordinated cybersecurity threats. Expanding this infrastructure also collides with physical reality. Mining the necessary materials requires enormous amounts of land and water, and local communities are actively stepping in to delay or block extraction projects in their backyards. To escape these geographic and environmental traps, laboratories worldwide are racing to develop entirely new battery chemistries that use cheap, abundant materials like sodium, aiming to bypass scarce minerals entirely. Mastering battery storage requires balancing heavy industry, community relations, bleeding-edge software, and hard chemistry. Governments are responding to these systemic vulnerabilities by reaching for aggressive industrial policy. They are subsidizing domestic factories and heavily restricting the export of critical minerals to keep supply chains close to home. Some states are pursuing pure vertical integration. They attempt to domesticate every single step, from extracting the raw dirt to plugging the final battery into the grid, aiming for complete strategic autonomy. Other nations recognize they lack the resources to do everything alone. They opt for diversified interdependence, purposefully spreading their supply contracts across multiple trusted international allies to balance risk with economic efficiency. A third approach relies on technological diversification. As mapped out in this radar chart, countries are pouring capital into recycling and next-generation innovation. But maximizing one priority, autonomy, efficiency, or innovation, inevitably drains resources from the others. None of these pathways offer a flawless shield. Every government must accept some level of systemic vulnerability just to keep the lights on. Supply chains fracture, costs spike, and global trade becomes heavily compartmentalized. The worst-case scenario is a constrained transition. If mineral shortages and local resistance block the deployment of massive storage grids, the integration of wind and solar simply stalls, keeping the world tethered to fossil fuels. The idea of total energy independence is a myth.